Thank you very much, Xavier. I was very impressed being in Skopje last week with our cooperation conference, 25 years civil at Skopje, a great date, and uh, a quarter of a century fighting for democracy. That was a great event, and hopefully it was helpful also for the development in North Macedonia and for civil. So it's a natural point and a great uh, addition that civil joined Media Dialogue Network at first, and also the basic organization Use for Media, which is running the Media Dialogue project. So Media Dialogue is an project which started 10 years ago, also next year anniversary, uh, shortly after Maidan in 2015, to help Ukraine for democratic development, also based on media work. This means that media system, practical media work, media literacy, producing films about situation in the society are one of the most important things for democracy in these times of fake news, propaganda, and so on. When we started in 2015, there was much, let's say, not more hope, but the situation seemed to be much more easier than it is today. After 2016, for example, the Belarusian Association of Journalists and Independent Organization joined the network. Meanwhile, like you see on our logo, it's not the octagon with a blue background. That is the flag of Belarus. We have thrown it out, and now it is a symbol of the BIJ journalists in exile. Even this logo changes shows what changes in Europe and in Eastern Europe. In the network, meanwhile, Armenia is presented. Georgia is presented, Moldova is presented, and also very narrow connected to press unions. In Ukraine, the National Union of Ukrainian Journalists, and in Germany, meanwhile, also the DJV, the German journalist organization with 270,000 journalists, which they represent. So behind this network and behind the idea is standing a big, I think the big idea of democracy, fighting for democracy in Europe. And on the other side, I mentioned Use for Media as a basic organization. There we are running Erasmus Plus project for especially media literacy. And for example, last week after Skopje, we started a project, hate speech against, or hate less against hate speech. So it is right. These are our common activities, and I'm very happy that Civil is, meanwhile, also a very important partner of all the things we are doing.
Thank you very much for this short but very detailed introduction. Let's go then with several assessments and questions about pressing issues of today. What is your assessment of democracy, human rights, and media freedom in Europe? Having in a specific detailed insight into several media landscapes across Europe, especially those that are suffering from authoritarian regimes, and including Ukraine, which is under full-scale invasion for 3 years now from the Russian Federation. So how would you assess the media freedoms as well as democracy and human rights in Europe at the moment?
I think we are really, and that means the Democrats and the democratic press is under pressure from different reasons. We have naturally this absolutely unbelievable full-scale attack from Russia to Ukraine, which which also has a lot of impact to Ukrainian medias economically. What protection of journalism? What can they say under in a war situation? This is one of the biggest threats I think a media system can have. But that's not the only one. We have the hybrid attacks of Russia, especially of Russia, against European media as a second point in this whole new confrontation Putin wants with the West. And we have problems from inside that right-wing nationalism is also fighting against freedom of press and against democratic media because there are connections to Putin too, like we see at the AfD in Germany, and where they say what's in the democratic press. This is that are all there are only lies inside to protect let's say
to protect the ideas of war and authoritarianism
and nationalism,
yes,
especially of nationalism.
and especially of absolutely, yes.
And another point is that also even in Germany, the democratic press is under economic pressure because the networks, Facebook, Google, etc., they got a lot of advertisements which were in former times at the press. So now it went to the social or the big players in the internet. And that means that quality journalism is under pressure too. So there are several problems to solve. In Germany, we are happy to have this public radio and media system, which is paid where every household has to pay per month several euros, so that there is a big stability in the middle, but also combined with pressure from outside. So media are under pressure on several reasons, and media under pressure, especially in the Eastern Europe countries, and we've also discussed it, the situation in the Balkan region, in Serbia, and so on. So we really have to fight for freedom of press. We really have to fight for a solid economic base for democratic media, and we have to support Ukraine and Ukrainian journalism in these times of war.
Thank you. Indeed, media freedoms are directly connected or reliant or also interdependent to all aspects of democracy and respect for human rights. And as a representative of Civil, which is running a prominent media platform here in North Macedonia, I can I can witness, I can testify to many of these hybrid attacks, including frequent cyber attacks on our media platform, especially knowing that we are probably the most prominent organization in the Western Balkans that is dealing with the issues of the Russian propaganda and is trying to reveal the facts of the brutal aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine, but also the hybrid warfare that it is waging against Europe and the democratic West. In that respect, we all have written a lot. We've been discussing that, including the conference where you also spoke and were both a panelist and also moderated one of the panels at the conference. We talked a lot about the impact of the Russian hybrid warfare and of the Russian invasion. But we also need to speak about what needs to be done. And you had several very prominent ideas in this direction, and I would like you to share that with our audience.
Yeah, I think first of all, Ukraine needs solidarity and support. And
Right.
solidarity and support means military solidarity to make them strong for negotiation with Russia. And it's only the decision of Ukraine which negotiation can take place, with whom, when, and with such results. This is not a point which must be, which can be discussed in other places than Ukraine. So we have to support, and we have to clarify that military support to Ukraine is necessary at the moment, even to strengthen it in this critical situation of the war. For me, it is absolutely unacceptable that after the Second World War, frontiers are changed by war. This is a danger all of us have. So strengthen Ukraine, but we also have to strengthen the civil society of Ukraine. That means in the support of NGOs, but also in the support of Ukrainian media and journalists. And I think there we made a very big success to bring the Ukrainian Union of Journalists together with the German journalist organization on one side, and also that from Croatia coming a new president of the European Federation of Journalists is also know also about our work, and hopefully we can include Maya also in our work, and the European Federation of Journalists to bring together to show the problems and what is also necessary to show solidarity and support. For example, like we did last week with our colleague from Belarus, Ksenia Halubovic, in exile. And it's not only a question of solidarity, I think it's also a question of what we can learn from journalists who had to leave their countries because they are telling the truth. And what their experience is, so that we can have a look in our countries, what's going on, which dangers are waiting or coming from the are waiting behind the curtains and coming out. This is a thing we have to do, and hopefully we also have to find a possibility to support some Ukrainian media as a pilot project for further survive. That is also a thing we are working at the moment, like Voluna Gazeta, also Ola, who is running this media project in Lutsk, Ukraine, took part at the conference. And so I think these are some solutions. And naturally, last but not least, to talk to politicians, to talk to members of parliament, to be supported by them, and also to give the ones, in our sense, to support them too. This is not a one way, this is a two-way.
Of course, absolutely. And then what about the hybrid warfare that is waged against democracies in Europe and beyond? What should governments, but also what should civil society and media do?
I think we have there are several tasks. First task is by law. Like in Germany, RT, Russia Today, was forbidden and thrown out because they never had a license. It was an argument for the justice.
Yes.
We have to have a very close look whether our media laws, whether Russian media in this hybrid war, how they are working with our media laws, and if there is a chance out of them. Second point, I think it's even more important to discuss what they are doing, to inform the audience what they are doing, and also to use media literacy projects like we did with the former project Trust and Truth, how to work with media, how to have a look behind the scenes, how to learn about fake news and how they work. And this also in combination with quality journalism. And that's a big task for the civil society too, and for us as NGOs to inform, to fight, and also with our possibilities to bring in our countries a front line together against this hybrid war activists and kleptocrats in Russia.
Thank you. This is very important to remember. And of course, maybe this is a good opportunity to mention that our conference that was organized by Media Dialogue and Civil from North Macedonia, held in Skopje, the idea behind it is to create actionable recommendations to be delivered to decision makers and other actors in the politics, in the society, in media for the future. And I believe that both our organizations will help improve the situation significantly, I believe. Thank you for all these insights, but of course, I would like to say goodbye before asking you about Germany. Right now, Germany is also facing an early elections process coming in the next months and so on. Could you give us a short assessment of the current political situation in Germany?
Yeah, Germany, political situation in Germany itself, on a political view is in move. So we had this experiment with the three coalition party, Social Democrats, the Greens, and the Liberals. This coalition imploded. One of the reasons was also this Russian aggression and the stop of cheap gas. One of the reasons is that, let's say, German industry bosses, government were not really had the right view to the development in Russia and this development of a new fascism of Putin regime. And this causes now a transformation process, which in combination with climate change program is a chance for the future. At the moment, it is causing a lot of troubles. On the economic way, we have in the car sector, for example, the transformation to electric cars, and that means a lot of people who will lose their jobs in this sector, and getting new jobs in the other sectors is in progress. This is one of the economical base problems in Germany at the moment. Politically, we have also the problem of the right-wing authoritarianism, especially in the former DDR, in the eastern parts of Germany, but not only. It's the same also in Western German regions where you have also transformation processes. So people want security, and if economically bases are changing, radicalism could have a chance. And I think there's also a big need for changing politics, and that means that the state must show that he is strong, not only by law. That is one point. Also economically strong. Infrastructure. That means roads, schools, universities, houses, and so on. And there are a lot of things to do for the German politics. Also, our train system, which is at the moment in a very critical situation. And that are the tasks. And now, hopefully, we will see what's going on with the elections. I think there is no danger that German politics can be overcome by extremists, not from the right, but also not from Sarah Wagenknecht and her pre-Stalinism thinking, let's say it in a sharp way. So I think there will be an election and a chance for the Democratic Party to solve the problems I mentioned. Let's see what will happen in February with the result of the election.
Yes. Yes. Let's see that. You mentioned that there are chances that they might win. Or I misunderstood you.
No, there are no chances that the right wing can win.
Okay.
No, not the
Just
right.
to make sure, I wasn't sure I heard well.
The parties in the middle will win. That means Social Democrats, maybe a little less than the last elections, and the Conservative Party. Let's see what's going on with the Liberals. They shoot themselves in their own knees with this implosion of the old government, and the Greens will also play a role. Let's see. I think my expectation is Conservative Party with Social Democrats, and I don't think that will happen, but it could too, Conservative Party and the Greens. But it will be stable in the middle, but they have to work. They really have to work to solve the problems I mentioned.
Thank you very much for this interview, Dr. Ressmann, and I wish you all the best in your future projects and in the current projects that just started. Hateless against hate.
Yeah, thank you very much, Xavier Derelato. Greetings to Skopje and hope to see you again soon, online or personally.